Coming soon to a city near you, Vinitaly Roadshow. Have you ever wondered how to attend Vinitaly for free? Are you a wine trade professional interested in a sponsored trip to Vinitaly International Academy or Vinitaly, the Wine and Spirits Exhibition? Coming soon to Princeton, New Jersey, Harlem, New York, and Chinatown in New York City, Cardiff in Wales, London in England, and Roost in Austria. We'll be giving away our new textbook, Italian Wine Unplugged 2.0. Find out more about these exciting events, and for details on how to attend, go to liveshop.vinitaly.com. Limited spots available. Sign up now. We'll see you soon.
Welcome to this special Italian wine podcast broadcast. This episode is a recording off Clubhouse, the popular drop-in audio chat. This Clubhouse session was taken from the Wine Business Club and Italian Wine Club. Listen in as wine lovers and experts alike engage in some great conversation on a range of topics in wine. If you enjoy listening, please consider donating through ItalianWinePodcast.com. Any amount helps cover equipment, production, and publication costs. And remember to subscribe and rate our show wherever you tune in.
Hello, everybody. Our fireside guest is Andrea Biatta. And you can see his party hat, which means that he's very new to Clubhouse. So Happy New Year, everybody, and welcome to Italian Wine Club on Clubhouse. This is the first episode, first call of 2023. I hope you guys all had a very nice new year. And I don't know what you guys have been up to. Let's hear what Anna's up to. Anna, ciao Anna.
Ciao Stevie, ciao. It's a pleasure to be
Anna
first.
Obuhovskaya is our super mod. When she's been. I think how many episodes have you hosted here? How many calls?
This is my fourth interview, and doing them because it's so very much interesting.
Yes, I know your pods have been really, really excellent, incredibly well prepared. So I'm sure this undoubtedly will be another very interesting call for us. I just wanted to remind everyone that this episode will be replayed, as you know, on the Italian Wine Podcast. I wanted to share with you some trivia. So, I don't know, most of you may know this. We had started Italian Wine Podcast way back in 2017. And the first year we had about 22,000 listens. And we thought, wow, that's exciting. And then things started slowly to build up. And the past 12 months, from January to December, you won't believe this, but we had more than 3 million listens. And that's thanks to all of you, all the Mod Squad, especially on the Clubhouse. And of course, Laika, our Clubhouse manager. And more importantly, Joy Livingston, our Italian Wine Podcast producer. Laika, ciao Laika.
Ciao Stevie.
So are you still married?
I'm still married.
When did you get married? I can't remember. It seems like such a long time ago. October,
yeah. October.
And you're still married. Congratulations. What did you do during the holidays?
Nothing really. It's just a lot of eating here and there with the family, So family, mother side, father side, everybody. So I gained weight.
I can't believe you're skinny as a rail. I don't believe that for a minute. All right. Okay, so let's start the show. As you know, for those of you, Anna is an old-timer here. She is now based in Slovenia, and she has 13 years of experience in wine marketing and sales. She worked in many, many places like Metro, Cash and Carry, Luding, which is a very big wine importer in Russia. And she was the best cavist of 2011. Is that true?
Yes, within Metro Cash and Carry Russia.
Mm-hmm. But of course, she's very dear to our community, via community, because she did her course via community 2021 in Verona. And I have to confess, there were many of you. How many Russians did we have? About like I think 13 or 15, like a very big contingency of delegation of Russians.
That's right. It was a big group
Yeah,
that year.
and I think you were the only one who passed the course.
Well, no, I wasn't the one. It was Daria.
You weren't.
No, I'm making my try in this next coming um, Verona program.
Oh, great. You
Yeah,
will no. So
I'm
who
preparing.
did it? Oh,
It's
Daria,
Daria.
Daria.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it was a very, very challenging, I would say, edition for you guys. Also, you guys came at the last minute and it was very challenging. So I'm sure with all the experience that you have now, you will become our next Italian wine ambassador. I'm very excited to host you and come, and you're close now.
Yes, I'm
But Anna, I have some good news and bad news for you. What do you want first?
start with bed.
Okay. The bad news is that we have a new textbook. So now you have to restudy the new textbook.
It's actually a good news because I felt like
And
there was.
that's why it's the good news. That's what I was about to say. Did you get a hold of the book yet?
Yes, yes, I ordered.
Okay, all right. So it's supposed to get to our office. We went to print before the holidays, but it's actually come. The physical copies are coming to our office, I believe, on Monday. But you can, of course, get your copy on Amazon worldwide. It is called. What is it called, Anna? I'll give you an extra point on your exam.
I'm sorry, Stevie.
It's called Italian Wine Unplugged 2.0.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. All right. So, Anna, I'm going to let you get on with your show now, but tell us why you selected Andrea Biatta to be on the call today.
Oh well, answering this, I have to tell why how I discovered his wines. In November 2022, I was on a Gita Scholastica trip in the area of Isaiah Lake in Lombardia with other VIA ambassadors, and we had a deep dive into the wines of French Quarta. And with producers and tasted nearly 60 different French Quarta during several days. And Le Marquesina, the estate of Andrea Biatta, was one we visited, and it was quite impressive because Andrea conducted a comprehensive tour and gave us very, very professional and precisely detailed information on all the technical aspects of French Quarter production. And, getting to know him, I must say that in my eyes, Andrea is a bright representative of the new generation of French Quarter producers. And I really, really wanted you all to meet him as well because Andrea is very passionate about his wines and his business, and he understands the peculiarities, and he's also very energetic, and he has to develop in La Marquesina estate, so that's why
Great.
he's
I was
here.
actually very jealous that you guys got to drink from morning till dawn
Yeah,
Franciacorta
it
all
was
day
it
long
was
for
really
several
a
days.
fantastic because I held seminars. I did some consulting on choosing different Franciacorta on the markets I work with. So it was really really useful for work.
Excellent. All right. So, Anna, as you know, before we start your interview, your call with Andrea today, we need to understand what are the learning objectives that we should expect from your call today.
Well, I think that Franciacorta is one of the wines in Italy that made by Metodo Classica, and it's noble. And of course, Vinitaly ambassadors know about it quite well. But I also would like to highlight that it's a wine of really high quality standards, and I would like us to learn today more about what makes Franciacorta that special and different from other sparkling wines of Italy with the help of Andrea.
Excellent. So, Anna, this is, as you know, where I leave you and I shut up, which rarely happens. So, take full advantage of that. And I will come back towards the end to see if there's any extra time to ask him some additional questions. Okay? Over to you, Anna.
Great, thank you. So let me introduce Andrea Biatta. He is born and raised in Franciacorta, and after finishing high school, which was foreign language and commercial school, he starts working in the winery to learn all the production process. So this was the beginning of the actual role he plays in the winery, and as an owner and expert manager with a glimpse also on marketing and communication. So Andrea, nice to have you here
Hel-
today.
Hello, thank you so much for the opportunity. It's very interesting and also challenging for me to be here in this type of podcast. First time. Sorry again about the little technical issue, but I'm a very fresh user of this platform. Sorry.
No worries, Andrea. The visit to La Marquesina, I remember very clearly because it was such a great impression, and all the details, all the precise details you gave us on the technical process. So today, I would like you to talk about your estate and tell us a bit more about what makes Franciacorta so special. So my first question would be, could you please tell us a brief history of La Marquesina, like when it was found and who is in charge of what in making wines? As I understand, it's family business, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's a family business. The winery was founded by my grandfather Giovanni in 1985. But before moving here to the Franciacorta area, my family used to have another winery in the southern area of the province of Brescia, where we used to produce white and red, still wine, of course. But my grandfather' dreams was to produce sparkling wine. So when he had the chance, he switched to Franciacorta, and everything started from that. We started with a very small production of around 10,000 bottles per vintage, and slowly we grow up until nowadays, where the company is owned by my father, my sister, and me. We take care of about 50 hectares of vineyard in the appellation of Franciacorta, and we produce a little less than 500,000 bottles per year. It was challenging again, but it's like a old style democracy where there's a team where everybody does have a little bit of everything, and the vinification is responsibility of all of us together, along with our enologist, which is a consultant, and he's Jean-Pierre Valade. He's coming from France.
Oh, very interesting. So, and what are your duties in the winery? I know that you're a multitask person.
Yeah, I try to cover everything it needs to be done. I always make fun of my most stressful part of the in the winery is the driving the forklift during the harvest time, which is very frenzy, but I find that very enjoyable. But I do mostly communication, marketing, and of course, I take care of all the export that happens in our winery.
Well, you are very you have a very good personality for this type of job. I think for with working with communication, because you're a very communicative person. I must say from knowing you, and I know that you're going deep with your profession. I know that you took some sommelier courses before. So why was it important for you? Why you did that?
Yeah, actually, I'm just waiting for my level 2 from the WSIT exam to come in. I am expecting them in a few days. Hopefully, I passed. First of
Yeah,
all,
I hope so. I wish you pass it.
yeah, no, I mean, the biggest challenge for me was to change my mind during the tasting session. Of course, it was important to increase my knowledge about the wine all over the world. I might be a little bit knowledgeable about Italian wines, of course, based on, especially on my experience. But the world of wine, it's so big and so huge. I wanted to know more. So these are the two main reasons. But again, it was quite difficult to approach the tasting sessions in a different way. And I think to improve also in the winery side, it's very important also to understand how professional, especially professional, thinks when they taste wines, and not just reflecting what I have in front of me, or what I think this wine will develop based on my experience. And it's a little bit of a full package, because increasing the knowledge about the world we produce wine in, it's also a way to start to understand what's outside my comfort zone, which is of course Franciacorta, because as you said, I was born and raised here, and I feel very very comfortable here, or here in Franciacorta, and talking about sparkling wine and traditional method wine, most of all.
Italian Wine Podcast, brought to you by Mama Jumbo Shrimp.
Well, yeah, it's very important. I agree. It's very important to look at wine from a professional point of view, to see it from the point of sommelier sometimes. Because when we talked, I felt like you speak the same language with us. You know, explaining the wines and explaining all the details and the process and everything. So I could really feel that connection while we talked, and that's what. In many times missing when professional experts come to winery and talk to the producers. So good for you. It's really an important and a good step to my
Yeah,
point.
can I just add one thing that probably uh, due to my background, being born and raised in a winery, I probably assume that sometimes we, as a winemakers or wine producer, we give too many things for granted, based on the production aspect. Uh, let's say this WSET experience was very positive for me, as I always known that warmth, humidity was affecting the maturation of the grapes, but I actually just always said yes, I know it, and it's I took that for granted always, 100% of the time. So I would say that this experience was also developing the way to talk to people about our point of view, without giving too many things for granted, I would say.
Yeah, it's a good point how you put it. And tell me, Andrea, how many wineries are in Franciacorta area nowadays?
So, in the consortio, there are 132 wineries. Outside the consortio, there are about 20 wineries. The difference is that the wineries outside the consortio can't be part of the communication and the events that our consortio makes. But that's pretty much the only difference, because outside that, everybody needs to follow the same rules, the same laws. So it's just a technical things. Uh, Everything started here in the appellation in the 60s, with the first winery to develop this traditional method sparkling wine. It was I can tell you the name because there's no absolutely problem also with this producer. It's a quite good friend of my father too. It's the winery Guido Berlucchi in 1961. Then slowly, other wineries started to develop this working process. Uh, at the beginning of the 80s, we were about 27 to 35 wineries. The big boom of the winery came after the new century. So after the year 2000, we saw a big improve of number of the wineries. But yeah, now the number are this one.
Thank you. And could you also tell about the most specific traits of Franciacorta area? What, to your point, influences the style, and what makes Franciacorta so different from other sparkling method or classic wines in Italy?
So I can tell you that one of the things that usually we give for granted is the weather condition. We are in a northern area of Italy, so we are in Lombardy. We are just below the mount of the Alpi, and we are very close to the Lake of Iseo. All these aspects give us, even if we are quite small area, because we are talking about a 40 square kilometer area, we have many different weather conditions. This, together with the soil condition, where we have a flatland, which is most rich in sand and which is quite common. Then we have gentle and soft hill, where we have a bit more of clay, and then we have the mountains, or actually not all mountains, but a bit more steep hill, where we have rocks. The trait of the vinification, it's a traditional sparkling method. Most of the appellation use stainless steel tanks for the first vinification process, even though it's not forbidden to use oak. And then we have second natural fermentation in the bottle. This was a groundbreaking technique here in Italy, as we set a standard, a very high standard, as the Franciacorta area appellation has been awarded as the first ever DOCG appellation about a traditional method sparkling wine in Italy.
Yeah, speaking about weather, I must say we visited you in November, and it was quite warm. you know um we discussed that already, because you even didn't. I mean, I think you was wearing a t-shirt, and I was just wearing a light jacket, and that's it. So it was quite warm for November for northern Italy. So climate is really the key. And to my impression, from what we tasted during the visit to Franciacorta area, I must say that the style of Franciacorta wines is so soft. It's also has to do with the soils, but it has this feeling. If I would compare it with painting, or with I would say with an art, I would say it's a pencil drawing by Raphael, because it has such soft lines. In all Franciacortas we've tried, has this very soft feeling in the taste. It's not bone dry. It's not sharp acidity as it might be on the chalky soils of Champagne, but it has this really soft character in Franciacorta. What do you think?
Yes, absolutely. I remember we talked about this during your visit, and just a quick thought about the climate. Unfortunately, like all the rest of the world, we are experiencing some major change, and it was quite uncommon to have such a warm November. And yes, I remember I was just wearing a t-shirt with a very light jacket, but it was warm. This is going to be the future challenge we are going to have, but still to this day, I can tell you that if we leave the fruit on the plant, we will get to a full ripening fruit. So our choice, it's our choice to have a early harvest. So that's why probably we have a less aggressive acidity. It's more balanced between all the part of the wine that is coming from the fruit. Of course, we are 1,000 kilometers southern from France. We have a warmer climate, even if we used to have very cold winters. But again, in August, we can get easily at 30, 35 Celsius. So if we wait for mid-September to pick the grape, we can easily do 12.5, 13 alcohol white wine. So it's our choice to find a good delta between the alcohol we can develop, the acidity that we have, in order to have a well balanced acidity that will be not too harsh in the mouth, but still granting our wine a lot of freshness during all the years that we age this wine in on the surely.
Yeah, I know that some producers start to use herba mate grape variety, which is very acidic, in order to fight, in order to balance out this climate change. You know, in order to get to get balance within this climate change challenge. Do you think you will be using herba mate as well? Do you what do you think of using it?
We There's a couple of things that have to be said about the herba mate. I'm not a big fan, first of all. Nevertheless, I try to follow all the experimentation process our consortio did in order to understand whether at the end of the day this herba mate could give something more interesting to us. The yerba mate is an autochthonous varietal of the Brescia province, but it's most common to find this yerba mate on the Lake of Garda. I would say, we imported that. First of all, as you said, Anna, to increase the acidity on the base of our cuvée, and now it could be used also about this climate change. I can tell you that we are pointing nowadays a bit more toward the development of a regional peewee varietal, so a resistant varietal that could be probably even more interesting as it can reflect the aromas and the life cycle of the varietal that we always used here in the appellation, which are Chardonnay, Pinot Blanc or Pinot Bianco, and Pinot Noir or Pinot Nero, as you want to call them. But yeah, it could be interesting. The project of our consortium about herba mate, it's still developing, even if it's a project that now it has about 8 or 9 years, I would say. But yeah, it's something that it takes time, and like everything in the wine business, it takes time uh, to have a result, or even to have an idea of the final result that can be.
Well, since you mentioned grape varieties, could you please speak on the role of each variety in Franciacorta production? in the blend, what each variety gives to a blend in Franciacorta.
Yes, absolutely. So, Chardonnay, it's the most used, the most common, and the most widely planted to these days also. It reflects pretty much the elegance and the finesse. It's the one that also works better on the tree soil, I would say macro group of soil that we have, as it can develop a good bouquet of aroma from the sand to the rock soil. Of course, the rock soil grants also a bit more of minerality and a bit of more depth in the flavors. But Chardonnay is also the one that it's easier to grow. It's quite resistant to disease, and the cluster it's compact, but it's not too the berries are not too squeezed. Pinot Noir, it's a varietal that for many years was a bit forgotten, and that was something we have to regret a little bit. So shame on us about that. But there was a time here in Italy that there was a rejection for rosé wines, and as in the appellation, it's forbidden to do a red, a sparkling red. So we had the rosé, but I would say, Fred, that from 2004 to 2009, I would say most of the market was rejecting rosé. So it was forbidden, no, not forbidden, but forgotten. So most of the wineries stopped to plant Pinot Noir. But on the long run, it meant that for about 10 years, we hadn't new vineyard of Pinot Noir. But it's a very interesting varietal as it can develop a nice red fruit bouquet, even if it's a early harvest. So we don't get to full maturation. We wait about 35 to 40 days after the verizon to pick it. So there's no phenolic maturation, but it's a good maturation point between what we need and what a proper Pinot Noir can give you. And it's a very interesting wine. Actually, we were one also of the first winery here in the appellation to produce a Blanc de Noir, so a white wine, a white Franciacorta made with only Pinot Noir grapes. And the last but not least, the Pinot Bianco, which is actually the origin of the appellation starts from the Pinot Bianco. In the 60s, there was very little knowledge about the difference between Chardonnay and Pinot Bianco. So everything was called Pinot, but it was Pinot Blanc, Pinot Bianco. And even if there's no aromatic varietal in our appellation, we use the Pinot Bianco almost as a aromatic varietal. So it's the one that gives us a lot of white flower notes, and it's very interesting. But the downside of the Pinot Bianco is that it's very weak. So it's the one that suffer most diseases, and the cluster it's very compact. The berry is very squeezed, so the disease can gives us some hard times.
Yeah, well, that's very interesting. When we tasted wine together, you mentioned that you say the word simple. You take it as a compliment when somebody says that about your wine. Why is that? Why you consider it a compliment? The word simple.
You know, maybe because sometimes we forget that wine it's is a food. It's the same as a dish you can order to a restaurant. And sometimes simplicity, it's the hardest things. Is one of the hardest thing to achieve. Many years ago, my grandfather told me, Andrea, remember that a good bottle of wine, it's an empty bottle of wine. That not because we need to get drunk every time we pop a bottle of wine, but it's because you enjoy so much the moment, you enjoy so much the food, the pairing also with the food, and you enjoy so much the company of the people you are drinking this wine with, that the wine become like a side. It's there, you can feel it, you enjoy it, you appreciate it, but at the same time, it's not the center of every conversation that you have. So for me, a simple wine, it's a wine that can be enjoyed both from the novice to the most knowledgeable person about wine in the world. Uh, that's just a point of view. We are also consumers, so for us, it's very important that also the final consumer don't waste wine and money, leaving half of the bottle on the table.
That's very well said, and it's close to my opinion about the wine. No matter how it was made, of course, we pay attention how it was made, where, and etc. All the historic aspects and everything, all the cultural aspects. But I agree that it's always about enjoying the wine. What's the point of everything else if you don't really enjoy the wine? So that's really the key, and thank you for mentioning that. I know that you love history and mythology, and could you tell us about your choice of names for your cuvées?
Yeah, I'm a little bit of a nerd about history, and I take advantage of being Italian. Uh, every place has a lot of history, but here in Italy, it's really countless. How forgotten pieces of art and history that we have. For example, Brescia, my hometown, has a Roman temple, a Roman amphitheater, sorry, and it has also a medieval castle, and it has also a Renaissance square. It's very interesting that in a circle of less than 1 kilometer, you touch pretty much the heart of the European history in a matter of really 25 minutes walk. And that was I grew up studying a lot of history and the Roman, the Greeks, the Egyptians. So you get into mythology. When I took over the marketing part of the winery, I decided to do a little rebranding of our labels and our wine. So I choose names based on what had a tangible bound with our area, with our home, and so I choose two Latin names, sorry, for our entry level Franciacorta, which one is Nitens, which means fine, elegant, and the other one it's Audens, which is a dosaggio zero, so it's a padosé, and Audens means very bold. Then and this it's about history and with the biggest part of the Roman history that we have here in Brescia. Before having the Roman, though, we used to have in our mountains here a population from the south that they used to work with the iron. That's why the Roman founded Brixia, the Latin name of Brescia. And so for the vintages, for our millesimati, I decided to use Celtics deity, and I did quite a long study. And one of the positive side of the pandemic was that I have plenty of time to do my research. I also needed the help of my little cousins that speaks German, because most of the texts are German. So yeah, it took me about 9 months, but I was very very happy about the final result. Mythology played a big part of the humankind history, and I think it's a good way to pay tribute to this.
That's very interesting what you're saying. Indeed, in Italy, history is alive. Uh, it's really a wonder to me that you can actually touch the history with your hands, touch the stones that are thousands years old, and that Romans were touching. And it's really about knowing your history. Without it, you cannot go forward, without knowing well where you come from, who you are, what's the history behind you. So that's um, really impressive. And I know that you are making some hospitality facilities in your estate in Fonsecorda. Could you tell us about it, please, when it will be ready, and what are your plans for hospitality facilities?
Yes. Enoturism now plays a big role in the world of wine. We wanted to be part of this as we always get very very positive feedbacks from people that visit our winery. So we wanted to give a better experience about what we do and what we are. We are going to finish the new hospitality part hopefully at the beginning of April. We are running quite fast in the last few months. Um One of the downside of the pandemic for us was that the construction site had to stop for several months. So we had a big delay that the final result was more than 1 year of final delay because of this stop. But we can stop to think about the delay, and we started to work in order to get this new project starting running in April. We will develop a new tasting room for private, but also for private event. We are planning to have a bit more of a specific event with our friends and customers. So, special wine dinner once in a while, maybe more in summer, or yeah, I would say in summer because it's probably the most interesting season that we can do something about, especially in the open. We did a garden with a couple of gazebos, so a couple of patios, and it's going to be a very nice place. But yes, we believe enoturism is going to play a very big role in the future as more and more people are willing to travel to discover new appellation, new wineries, and offering something extraordinary. It's always important to leave a good memory or a good experience.
Yeah, well, I definitely have to come when your tasting room is ready. It would be a lovely travel to Franciacorta area. I had an impression that it's really a paradise place to see during the spring and summer, and it's not so hectic and so busy and so touristic as Garda, but it has all the same climate and the same pleasures as other lakes of northern Italy. So that's really pleasant, all the smaller towns around around Lake Iseo, and really really good food, a lot of lake fish,
Yeah.
lots of activities, and I think the area, the consortium is doing a great job promoting what's available in the area, because I have a map. I got myself a map where all the restaurants and all the hotels mentioned and other activities, and some train. There's a train that you can take within the area, and so it should be a really lovely travel spot
Yeah,
for
you know,
tourists.
we don't have the same facility of Lake of Garda. The Lake of Iseo, it's very, very small compared to that, but it's a very nice place. It offers lovely. If you like hiking, you can go hike. There are plenty of routes you can go. You can go by bike, and then we have the location. So it's quite convenient because we are very close from the city that offers again a lot of history sighting. It's about 15 minutes drive. We are very close to the airport from of Oriol Serio, because in 25-30 minutes drive you are there. We are not even 1 hour from Milano. We are 1 hour from Verona. So it's very convenient. Probably also the fact that we are not as big as the hospitality that you can find in Lake of Garda gives you a better chance to live a better experience. Not too much crowded, not too many people, but still plenty of good things to see, and of course also to eat.
Yes, definitely. I totally agree. Well, we are running out of time slowly, and I think I have another question to ask you, and that would be about the main markets for Franciacorta, because that's the topic that is discussed in professional during profession among professionals. So, what are main markets for you, and how you consider what do you consider to be the most prospective for Franciacorta?
Main market, it's Italy. We wanted to develop our national market before moving forward, but we are developing quite fast different key market, I would say. Switzerland, the biggest market for Franciacorta is Japan, which might seem strange, but it's a huge, huge market for our wines.
How do you
More,
explain that? Why Japan?
I would say that first of all, they crave Italian products, and they found. I would say that they found an alternative to the champagne, and an alternative to cava that was coming from Italy. So as it seems also they like they need something from Italy, because everything that is Italian has a huge perception in Japan. I would say that out of 132 wineries in Franciacorta appellation, more than half of them have wines in Japan. And I would say also that it goes very well with their cuisine, with their food. It's very easy to pair Franciacorta with the most known Japanese food, which is sushi and sashimi, of course. But also when you go into a bit more deep into the Italian, the Japanese cuisine, you find very interesting pairing with our wines. After Japan, United States, it's a very interesting market together with Canada. Then, personally, I can tell you that as a winery, Le Marchesine works with a little bit of every country in the world, especially something that we can say strange or out of the spotlight market, like Malaysia, Colombia, Romania, Bulgaria. uh, it's easier to be in the bigger market like Germany, like United Kingdom, but it's also important to us to be also in very small market that can have a very niche request about Franciacorta.
And in on those markets, what is your main competitor? To your point, do you compete champagne, or you compete other Trento Doc or other sparkling wines of the world? To your point, how it goes?
Yeah, pretty much. The biggest problem that we need to overcome is explaining that we are much more similar to champagne. Actually, we have the same working process more than being closer to the prosecco. Uh, I'm not talking about professional, of course. I'm talking about the final consumer. They mistaken us as a prosecco, which is a tradition, which is not a traditional method. So that's the first things we need to overcome. But I would say that our competitor in the next future is going to be more Alta Langa and Trento Doc, as we don't have enough production to compete with Champagne, Cava, or Prosecco. Probably it's going to be Alta Langa and Trento Doc, the competition, but I would say that as long as the product is Italian and the product is high quality, everybody has space to work safely.
Yes, I revised some numbers after going to Franciacorta, and if you take and Franciacorta is really a niche product, very rare on the market. Only 10% of Franciacorta goes out of the country. 90% is consumed in Italy. So if you compare, for example, production of champagne and the distribution of champagne, if we take export of champagne as 100%, then export of Franciacorta would be 1%. So that's how rare Franciacorta is in comparison to champagne. That's pretty amazing, to my point.
Yeah, absolutely. I can't add anything because your analysis it's extremely on point. We are very small. The total production of Franciacorta it's around 18 million bottles per year, which stands very low compared to the 350 million that champagne can produce, or the 500 or 600 million bottles that Prosecco can produce. So that's why I would stay on somebody if I have to choose, or if I have to see a real competition, it's between somebody that can fill our niche, because we are not going to compete in any way to champagne, as our number are completely different. But still, it's a starting point, and it's a way also to make people understand that even if we are on the same level of production, so the vinification process is the same, we have difference given by the weather, given by the soil, and also given by the different approach that we as winemakers need to do in order to maximize what we have. Our competition is going to be on a smaller number compared to champagne or prosecco or cava. So we need to maximize what we can do as Franciacorta producers, and just make people understand that we share the same working process of champagne, but uh, we put our spotlight on different characteristic of the wines.
Yes, definitely. It's very important to find your own way to communicate the market. You know, it's not easy at all coming out with this new product, especially when it was first made just in the 60s. It's still very new to most of the markets. Still very new. I totally agree. So I would like to invite all the listeners ask questions, because as we have a few minutes left, maybe you have some questions to ask. You can raise your hand or type in the chat, and I will read it. So otherwise, Andrea was very informative as usual about all the aspects of Franciacorta, and I think there is still something else to mention. So please, if you have any questions, you're welcome.
Well, I can tell you that if you follow us on the social media, and me personally, whenever you feel like you have any question, also in the upcoming future, I will be more than happy to try to answer you. I really appreciate the opportunity to be here on the podcast. I really hope I didn't mess up too many uh, words. I always try to express myself the best way I can, but I know my English is not so good as I wish it was. But yeah, thanks again.
It was great. Thank you so much, Andrea. I think everybody enjoyed this conversation. It was really great. Thank you. So I'm returning the floor to Stevie. And
Okay. You guys did such a great job. It was so thorough and interesting. I think you've covered your bases very nicely. I know Jamie had raised the hand before in the very beginning. I don't know if you would like to. I invited you to come and speak, Jamie, if you'd like to come up, but let me know. Otherwise, we are going to close up the room because it is getting very late and we're coming to the end of the hour. Just one question quickly, Andrea. How many labels do you have, and how many bottles do you produce?
So we have 9 different labels of Franciacorta, 2 non-vintage, 5 vintages, and 2 Riserva. And we stand at about 450,000 bottles produced per year.
So, Andrea, I mean, I think I just wanted to go back to the fact that you said Franciacorta is incredibly popular. In fact, it's your number one market. And I think it is, we have to give credit also to the consortiums, all the different activities that you've done in China. I recall seeing Franciacorta very active in Japan. So I meant to say Japan before. So I think that is one of the reasons, and it is a very good, solid success story of Italian wine in Japan. So I really appreciate that. Here comes Jamie. Hello, Jamie. You have to unmute your mic.
Hi. Hello, everyone. Can you hear me?
Well, you were on
Hi.
the trip with Anna, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yes, exactly. So, I just because my network was not very well, I may just make some information. So I was very curious about the fact that the winery has added 2 wines in 2012. Um, it's especially for the Brut Nature, it is the choice made by the climate change. Uh,
Well, it was made not by climate change, but it was just, you know, most of the job that we have to do is do experiments. Experimentation gives you a lot of chance to improve or to develop new wines, and that was the case. So we ended up adding the Blanc de Noir and the Brut Nature that you mentioned. It was a choice we decided to follow after some year of experimentation, and it was just a way to reflect another shade of our knowledge and experience in the Franciacorta vinification wine and winemaking industry.
Thank you so much. Because I just very interested in the climate change subject. So this is why I asked the question. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jamie, for your question. I'm just going to quickly bring up Laika so she can tell us what's up next, and then we will close up the room.
Hi, Stevie. Okay, I'm here. So the next session is going to be Wayne Young. It's going to be on Friday at 6 p.m. He will be interviewing Marco Primosic. So that's it.
Okay, very good. Alrighty, you guys, thank you so much, Andrea, Anna, Jamie, Laika. Joy went home already, and that is it. Signing off. Ciao ragazzi!
Ciao!
Alla prossima! Ciao ragazzi!
Ciao.
Once again, here we go. Swirl, sniff.
Listen to the Italian Wine Podcast wherever you get your podcasts. We're on SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Himalaya FM, and more. Don't forget to subscribe and rate the show. If you enjoy listening, please consider donating through ItalianWinePodcast.com. Any amount helps cover equipment, production, and publication costs. Until next time, cin cin.